Hey y'all, this is Autumn with Prayer Privilege, and I am coming to y'all with a quick prayer point. And this one is taken from 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 10. And that says, "So I take pleasure in weaknesses, in insults, in times of need, in persecution and difficulties for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am powerful." So this scripture to the flesh sounds crazy, right? Taking pleasure in insults, times that you're in need, persecution, difficulties, taking pleasure in those things. It sounds crazy. But in this particular scripture, it's more so in the sense realizing that when we come up against things that we feel are greater than us, that we then feel our true human nature and our weakness, this is where we can lean into Jehovah and lean into the provision of Christ. And so that brings us to the scripture, Isaiah 35, verse 3, where it says, "Strengthen the weak hands and make firm the knees that are shaking." Sometimes we are tired. Like Isaiah 40 says, sometimes this world is weighing us down. We talked about that in the spiritual fatigue episode. Sometimes we feel weak, and it's okay to understand that, hey, I can't be strong every day, but that's why I have God, because God is my strength. And so the prayer point for this episode is to ask Jehovah, in the times that you're feeling weak, in the times that you are not feeling the strongest, where you need some fortification, ask Jehovah to reveal to you the scripture to lean on in your times of weakness. And it's good to have a good go-to scripture so that off the bat, when you're feeling the warfare, when you're feeling the things come up against you, when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling weary, that you can go to Jehovah and you can say, "Lord, this is your word. You said this in your word, and you know your word. And so I speak this scripture. I pray this scripture." So that I can pray against the opposing forces in the spiritual darkness. And so, yes, if you have not done this, I would go to him today. I would say, "Lord, please reveal to me the scripture that I should use to lean on in times of weakness, in times where I'm just praying, Jehovah, help me." And it's in these moments where Jehovah is happy to hear from us the most, because he sees that surrender in us. And the art of surrender is something very, very important when you are on a faith journey with God. But when we surrender and we say, and sometimes you just have to pray, "Lord, help me to just release what I can't control, and to not do anything on my own strength. And the things that I can do, that you're admonishing me to do, help me to do those things. And the things that I'm feeling too weak to do, Lord, be my strength." And so, yeah, that is today's prayer point, 2 Corinthians 12:10. Definitely go into your own Bible and read this and just meditate on this and see what God has for you in this. But I thought I'd just share this with y'all. I appreciate y'all listening, subscribing. If there's anything that y'all can do, is just continue to just pray to God. That's my whole goal of this whole thing, is just pray to Jehovah God, because he hears those prayers, and prayer is truly transformative. It's Ada. Remember, it is not pretty privilege, it is prayer privilege, and prayer is a privilege.